I am graduating. I should look at this as a positive experience, especially being at the top of my class. However, in retrospect, I cannot say that I'm any more intelligent than my peers. I can attest that I am only the best at doing what I'm told. Here I stand, and I'm supposed to be proud that I have completed this period of indoctrination. I will leave in the fall, and I will go on to the next phase expected of me in order to receive a paper document that certifies that I'm capable of work. But I contest that I'm a human being, not just a worker. I'm a thinker, an adventurer. A worker is someone who is trapped within repetition, a slave of the system set up before him. But now I have successfully shown that I was the best slave. I did what I was told to the extreme. While others sat in class and doodled to later become great artists, I sat in class to take notes to become a great test taker. While others would come to class without their homework done because they were reading about an interest of theirs, I never missed an assignment. While others were creating music and writing lyrics, I decided to do extra credit, even though I didn't even need it. So I wonder, why did I even want this position? Sure, I earned it, but what will come of it? When I leave educational institutionalism, will I be successful or forever lost? I have no clue about what I want to do with my life. I have no interest because I saw every subject as a study, as work, and I excelled at every subject just for the purpose of excelling and not learning. And quite frankly, I'm very scared.
அடிப்படை நோக்கம் சமூகத்தை ஒன்றுபடுது. ஆனால் இன்றைக்கு இருக்கின்ற கல்வி முறை அது மாறாக பிளவுபடுகிறது. இதெல்லாம் கூடாதுன்னு சொல்றதுதான் சத்தியம்.
Every country on earth at the moment is reforming public education. There are two reasons for it. The first of them is economic. People are trying to work out, how do we educate our children to take their place in the economies of the 21st century? How do we do that? Given that we can't anticipate what the economy will look like at the end of next week, as the recent turmoil is demonstrating. How do we do that? The second, though, is cultural. Every country on earth is trying to figure out, how do we educate our children so they have a sense of cultural identity and so that we can pass on the cultural genes of our communities while being part of the process of globalization. How do we square that circle? The problem is they're trying to meet the future by doing what they did in the past. And on the way, they're alienating millions of kids who don't see any purpose in going to school. When we went to school, we were kept there with a story, which is if you worked hard and did well and got a college degree, you would have a job. Our kids don't believe that. And they're right not to, by the way. You're better having a degree than not, but it's not a guarantee anymore. And particularly not if the route to it marginalizes most of the things that you think are important about yourself. The problem is that the current system of education was designed and conceived and structured for a different age. It was conceived in the intellectual culture of the Enlightenment and in the economic circumstances of the Industrial Revolution. But the model we have is this. I believe we have a system of education that is modeled on the interests of industrialism and in the image of it. I'll give you a couple of examples. Schools are still pretty much organized on factory lines, ringing bells, separate facilities, specialized into separate subjects. We still educate children by batches. You know, we put them through the system by age group. Why do we do that? You know, why is there this assumption that the most important thing kids have in common is how old they are? You know, it's like the most important thing about them is their date of manufacture. What do you mean? Well, I know kids who are much better than other kids at the same age in different disciplines. or at different times of the day, or better in smaller groups than in large groups, or sometimes they want to be on their own.
So, what did our government do to adapt to the change in time? The education system only tried to increase its reach than its quality. Made sure everyone got into schools rather than what schools taught them or how schools taught them.
Both you and I know that this system is not perfect or obsolete, and this system needs to change. Not completely, but some changes are necessary.
Learning and studying, there's actually a difference between them. A person who studies Newton's first law of motion would say,
A body remains in its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless and until an external force acts upon it.
a person who learns it would explain,
If no force acts on a body, its velocity cannot change. That is, the body cannot accelerate.
can you see the difference now?
So who is to blame for this methodology? Students, the teachers, or the society?
We cannot blame only the teacher, we cannot blame only the student, we cannot blame only the school. So it is more together, like all of them are contributing to each other, and it is not that, okay, this if you change this, that is going to change. It is like we have to all together, it should be a holistic perspective of changing the student, school and the society.
So we need to change our mentalities. Did you know that there is actually a possibility that you might be wrong somewhere? Man up and accept the mistakes first. And the mentality should be learn, unlearn and relearn.
Education of the educators is the most important part of this system. He or she should be passionate, mutual learner, accommodator, especially not being authoritative, and much more. It is possible. Teachers in some government schools are actually adhering to it.
Had I the heavens embroidered cloths, enwrought with gold and silver light, of blue and the dim and the dark cloths, of night and light and the half-light, I would spread the cloths under your feet. But I, being poor, have only my dreams. I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams. And every day, everywhere, our children spread their dreams beneath our feet. And we should tread softly.